Hey, welcome to my video, and thanks for viewing. This video is on how to correctly change out a car's wheel. This can be helpful if you're like me and you just want to switch back and forth between winter and summer tires, or winter and summer wheels, or you just happen to get a flat on the side of the highway, and instead of paying $200 to have a tow driver come get you and bring you to a shop, you can do it yourself. So let's get started. Alright, so first step of changing the tire. You're going to need to jack the car up with a floor jack like this one, or if you're on the side of the road, you can use pinch welds down here with the roadside jack that comes with the car. Now, every car is different where they're jacked up. Essentially, they'll be in the same locations or same areas, but no car is exactly jacked up in the same exact spot as the other. So don't look at where I'm doing it and realize it can be the same on your car. Alright, now before the car is all the way jacked up, you just want to raise it a little bit so that it takes all the pressure, not all the pressure, but most of the pressure off the wheel by lifting it up. You're going to want to break your lug nuts loose first. The reason why I do it without the tire all up in the air, this car is a rear-wheel drive car, so you do have the transmission holding the wheel, so you can technically break them loose when the wheel is all the way up. If you were doing the front on this car, the wheel would just spin because you have nothing holding it. But personally, I don't like doing that. It just puts more stress on the drive shaft, and it's just going to lead to failure down the road. So you're going to break them loose first of all. This car has wheel locks on it, so I got to use a wheel lock, and then to hold it, I use a socket. Alright, so now that once you got all your lug nuts broken loose, you're going to raise the car all the way up to take the wheel off the ground. Usually you don't have to raise it this high off the ground. The reason I'm doing that is the wheel I'm putting on is a high profile wheel, so I got to compensate for the difference. Next you just want to take off all your lug nuts. They all should come off by hand now because you broke them loose. Alright, now that all the lug nuts are gone, now it's time to remove the wheel. What I like to do is stand up and place my foot under it while I pull it out so that it doesn't slam onto the rotor, just like that. And you just wheel it away. Line up your wheel with your studs, raise it up, slide it on. What you want to do is take the wheel and push it all the way back so that the back side of the wheel lays flush with the outer surface of the rotor. The way you'll know is you'll feel it, it doesn't wobble each way. So now it can wobble. If I push it all the way back, the wheel lays flush and has no wobble in it. Then I hold it with my legs so it doesn't move while I put on my lug nuts. Once all your lug nuts are on, you can let go of the wheel because now the lug nuts are holding it flush, so you no longer have to hold it yourself. So next you're going to want to lower the car just enough until the tire is touching the ground. This will again prevent the tire from slipping around or you having to use a transmission to hold it for you while you tighten down the lug nuts. Alright, now there's multiple ways to tighten down lug nuts on a car. You can use an impact gun, a torque wrench, or the ordinary 4-way, which also can be used to take them off, as can the impact gun. My preference, just that it maintains the life of the rotors and the studs, is use a torque wrench. Using a 4-way is not accurate. You're never going to know how much force you're putting on there. Either you're going to put too little and take the risk of the lug nuts backing off while you're driving, or putting too much and stretching the studs out, thus ruining them. Using an impact gun, you're never really going to put them on too loose. I mean, I guess you could, but you're probably going to put them on way, way too tight unless you really know what you're doing. And I don't even use it, and I still know what I'm doing, and I still won't use an impact gun. It stretches the stud out, shorten its life, and it also can warp the rotor, also ruining the rotor. So I use a ordinary click type torque wrench where you can get your local automotive store for like 50 bucks, like a brand new one. They're nice to have. Just always make sure you lower the calibration all the way to the bottom, or the torque actually, lower the torque all the way to the bottom when you're done using it, so you don't ruin the spring inside, so it stays calibrated. So when I torque down things, I usually do it in sets of 2s or 3s. For wheels, I just do 2s because it's not that big of a deal. But for like something like a head bolt or intake manifold bolt, I'll do it in sets of 3s, meaning I take the final torque, which on these lug nuts is 110 foot-pounds, and I half it or third it. Since I'm doing wheels, I'm only going to do it in a series of 2, so 110, I do about 60. I know it's not super like dead on, but it's not that big of a deal for lug nuts. So I'll lower the torque wrench to 60 foot-pounds. I'll get my socket, and I'll start with any lug nut. Now you tighten until the torque wrench clicks. I'm not sure if you were able to hear that, but once the torque wrench clicks, that's when it has reached the torque that you set it to. So now, on a 5-lug wheel, 5 lugs, you want to do in a star pattern. 4-lug wheels, it's just it's almost diagonal, but a 5-star or a 5-lug pattern, you want to do a star pattern when you're tightening it down. This will guarantee that when you tighten the wheel down, it's being tightened down flat and flush, without stretching any of the lug nuts on one side too much versus the other. So in a star pattern, you just want to do pretty much, you tighten one down, you skip the next one and do the one after that. If I do this one, skip another one, do the one next to that, and that'll create a little star. Alright, now that I've torqued down all 5 lug nuts to 60 foot-pounds, I'm going to bump it up to the final torque, 110. And again, do the same process, tighten all 5 down in a star pattern. And I always go this first one again just to make sure. Alright, once you tighten them all down to the final torque, you want to lower the jack. Just make sure you do it kind of slowly, especially since these wheels haven't been on all summer. So the rubber's kind of stiff, so I really make sure I do it slowly instead of just slamming it down. There's really no reason to do that. Alright, thanks for viewing my video. I hope this is helpful to you. If you're viewing it, I hope that you find use of this video and you start to do this correctly, because it is kind of important. You don't want your wheel to come off at highway speeds or anything or at any time. You want to make sure you go correctly and carefully the first time. And you also don't want to whip a rotor. It's going to cost you money down the road. But thanks for viewing, comment, subscribe, and enjoy.